there's a look kind of up in there. See the cap, it won't set down all the way. Let's have a look. See if we see anything different from this direction. That's what we're running into, is this oil pan, like I said in the other shot, the caps hit in this little area here. Again, you can see it kind of comes out here and here for the stroke, but in this section here is where the main caps go, and they are hitting and bottoming out. And we just need a little bit of room. But this Summit oil pan is not going to work on this block without modifications. I have two oil pans here just for comparison. Got the Summit pan here, it's got the crank scraper stuff. But you can see here, you've got kickouts for the stroke, and right here between this other set of bolts is where the main caps are hitting. And it's just not enough clearance. So here's a truck pan that will fit. It actually went down over the main caps just fine. Completely flat, not as aggressive in terms of a bowing like you see right here. And that's just enough to cause interference. So this pan is not going to work, and we'll have to do something else. So I'll get some different footage here to show you what an OEM block looks like. And let's have a look at the main cap. Going to show another side of this, kind of where the cap meets the block here. See how we're all the way out to the edge, basically into that pan rail area with the caps. I'm going to flip over a OEM block I have at home that ran that same Summit pan, just to kind of show you guys the difference and where we are from a clearance standpoint. I want to take a few moments here and just talk about the OEM block I've been running for many years. It's a Gen 5 block I got off of Craigslist or eBay or something many years ago, probably 20 years ago now, for a couple $100 as a short block, as a 454. Anywho, so now I've upgraded to this new aftermarket block. If you look, see how much different that is in the webbing area, kind of where that main cap hits the block. The new block is way out here, right? And that's where I'm having trouble with that pan rail. So here's the kick out for the stroke, and then it comes in quite a bit, and then that's where the main cap is on this aftermarket block. And you can see clearly there's a lot more meat, 1/4 of an inch on each side, you'd say. And you know, I love this pan. It was a good pan for me. Crank scraper, trap door, windage control. It's got this other panel here for acceleration so the oil stays in there. Trap door, of course, is when you're slowing down, the oil doesn't slosh away from the pickup. A lot of nice features. However, I was not able to reuse that on my new block. So if you're going to buy a one-piece seal block, just keep that in mind, especially with this particular oil pan. If you're way out here near the pan rail, it could be that you're not going to have room. Now, a truck pan, as I've shown in the video, it doesn't come in so much from the bolts. It's just kind of a straight line. And it's kind of the happy medium for stroke, and as well as the main caps. So that one actually would work, but you know, it doesn't have any features. So we've ordered a Moroso pan. I'll probably put something up on that as we get closer to dyno time and the engine running. But for OEM, this pan worked like a charm. No complaints about it ever in terms of oil control. It's just now moving forward, I have to get another one. So this is one of the things, you know, when you build these engines or upgrades, some little things you got to keep an eye on if you want to keep costs down. You know, how do I save costs? I had this other engine. You know, I was hoping to reuse this pan. I'm reusing the crankshaft, of course. I've got new rods and pistons, but you know, a new pan's not cheap. I think the one I'm replacing this with was 400 and some bucks. This was probably $3 and change for the kit back in the day. I think it's probably in the $400 or $500 range now as an entire kit with the pump and everything. So so I get a $400 pan. I got to buy a, what was it, $60 pickup or whatever, and then you got to make sure, okay, does the oil dipstick work for this one and that one? You know, all these little things add up, of course. It's kind of an unforeseen problem. I've been waiting on push rods. We went to put the oil pan on, didn't work, and a little bit of a delay. But since we're waiting on push rods anyway, I think I'll have time to get the oil pan sorted out. Once we get that new oil pan buttoned up, we should be able to flip the engine back over on the engine stand, slap on the intake, get the gaskets there, glue it in, and just be ready to drop in some push rods and make some noise. Hopefully that's with enough time to test that intake, but we'll find out. So keep in mind there is that contest out there to win a free t-shirt. Go check out the engine video and try to win a t-shirt. All you gotta do is guess how many seconds I improved or what amount of time. So if I gained 1.4 seconds or 1.9 seconds, whatever that number is between those two runs, and if I gained 40 miles an hour running nitrous, and then guess what my 8th mile ET was NA. That way it's a tie break because the information's out there. I mean, you could go to the drag week and get all the information from my last pass without even watching either their coverage or my coverage, and then you can watch the second pass on the live feed and probably get that information. I don't know if it shows up well enough on the screen in my video, but check that out. Put your numbers together. Good luck. Happy hunting. Tune into the channel later. Hopefully the 555 hits the dyno before long, and I can do all the testing that I want to do so that I can save you having to buy the parts that I buy or borrow. All right. Check us out later.